I'm Dan, adaptive rehab and exercise specialist with about 3.5 years of experience, coming back to you with a detailed video of our NeuroGym Tech sit-to-stand trainer here. So this video I'll be going over the details behind how we use it, when we use it, and kind of the utility behind the device as well too. Kind of typically with this device in particular, it is arguably the most utilized device that we have and utilized exercise piece of equipment that we have, partially because of the footprint that it has. So it's roughly 3x3 or 3x4 roughly. So it's able to go in and out of different positions as well too. Along with that, you're also able to have mobile wheels too, that allow for it to go, again, in and out of different positions and in and out of different spaces. All of those wheels also lock as well. And that allows us to have a really stable position so that we can basically use it as kind of like a, I guess, kind of like a squat rack to some degree or another, or some fixation point that allows our clients to grab onto it if they need to be able to just kind of stabilize themselves. So this is a fully adaptive piece of equipment that allows for our clients to get into a multitude of different positions. First of which is sitting to standing. So it basically allows our clients to go from their wheelchair or from our therapy table here directly into the machine and directly into a standing position. Since it does have so many modifications, we're able to lift this arm bar up right here. So the arm bar does adjust and it has a twist lock and then a pull attachment here. So it goes up and then down to adjust for the different heights of clients. Same thing with the knee pad right here as well. This guy also has a twist knob and that pull tab to go up and down in case you have somebody who has very, very high tibias or has a different position that is more comfortable for them. Additionally with this machine also does have a adjustable knee pad too. So if you needed to basically allow for a person to have different ranges of motion from their knee, or I guess different positioning from their knees over their shoulders, it allows for us to work through that position as well. Like I said, it does move in all different directions as well. And then it does have 4 locks also. The machine also comes with a sit-to-stand harness too, which allows for the person to basically have this hoisted directly around their glutes. And then these straps can go directly between their legs here and then attach to the Velcro. So it straps right onto their thighs. So it's able to basically secure onto them. And trust me, it's a very essential part of this machine that allows for, I guess, good execution every single time. So you can see right off the bat right here, my knee pad is adjusted directly to where my knees are in position. My feet are right where they need to be as well too, so they're not too far over my shoulders or too far behind my hips. Just kind of reaching up and grabbing onto the bar right here, I can notice that it's a pretty good height for myself, so that if I were to pull myself up into a standing position, I'm able to basically get my hips all the way through, and my hands are going to be over my shoulders, or they're not going to be below my hips or anything of the sort like that. So the biggest advantage behind this piece of equipment right here is this extra assistance that we get here. So carabiner attachment goes to these 2 loops. And then from here, this climbing apparatus right here allows us to select weight from 10 pounds up to 100 pounds of assistance and be able to help pull their hips through space. So right now I have 60 pounds of assistance on through my hips here. So I'm physically going to pull the weight up into position right here. So when you're working with clients with quadriplegia, basically when you're doing this, you're moving their hips around in space, so they're gonna be kind of off center the entire time too. So typically what we do is we'll get their hands set first on the bars so that they can use their triceps, or if they have them, or some type of core muscle to be able to keep them in an upright position. Otherwise, if you're pushing just this weight up first with them freely floating right here, you have to have somebody spotting their shoulders. Typically when we're getting people's hands on into position right here, we're using active hands if they have if they're quadriplegic. So active hands, we can basically put them at the low rung or the high rung, whatever is more comfortable for the individual. And then essentially from there, we just take the slack and put it off to the side here. So everything's set from here. Sometimes we put a yoga block between the person's knees so that the knees and their ankles don't collapse inward, and then their hips can stay in better position as well too. But they're always keeping their hands on to make sure that they're safe, at least right off the bat. And then from here, you can see I can basically lean forward stand up nice and tall. And then from here, the weight is pulling my hips forward also, basically keeping, anything that I have pulling myself forward in the right position. So from here, a lot of times the trainers will be able to spot off to the side, keeping their hip against the client's hips to keep their hips extended, and then they'll wrap their hands around the client's shoulders so that they can hold their shoulders back then as well too. From here, if you have somebody who masters this position, you can keep one of their hands off, have them work through side pulls, rotational pulls, side bends. There's a lot of different positions you can get people in here too. And also too, another thing I've done to challenge people in the past is I usually go, okay, so we've got standing position set right now. What happens if I take the weight off of you? So I'll start to slowly release the weight. So keep in mind I have 60 pounds on here, so it's gonna be pretty herky-jerky, but as I release the weight right here, you can see the weight is dropping down in the machine right here, and then my assistance is slowly releasing. So I'll have them try to maintain a standing position while the assistance is off, and even if they start to fail, that weight is there for them to catch them then too. So that's what I consider as a fail safe, to make sure that if and when they do fail, which I typically try to make my client fail, they'll be safe to do so. So right now I'm fully extended, locked out, boom, right there. I'm able to catch myself and come back on upright. So this right here is our sit to stand machine. We work through it in a lot of different positions like I had mentioned. First and foremost, obviously, is the standing position from there.